You know that feeling. You understand English pretty well, right? Reading's fine, maybe writing too.
Yeah.
But then you try to actually speak.
And it feels like hitting a wall.
Yeah,
Like the words just get stuck somewhere.
exactly. So today, we're diving into something that could really help blast through that. A 30-day English-speaking challenge. It's packed with actionable stuff.
Right. We've gone through the Master English Speaking in 30 Days challenge material pretty thoroughly. And our mission really is to pull out the absolute core techniques.
Think of it like a shortcut, yeah. Getting straight to the key ideas for boosting your spoken English.
Exactly. So maybe you're actually thinking about doing a full 30-day challenge. Maybe not.
Or maybe you just want some, practical tips you could use like right now.
Either way, this deep dive should have something for you. We're basically breaking it down into 3 main phases the challenge covers.
Okay, so first up, building a solid base that's vocabulary and pronunciation.
Then we tackle the mental game, building up that confidence.
Which is huge. And finally,
getting your sentences to flow better, practicing fluency in like real life ways.
sounds good. Okay, let's kick things off with that foundation. How do we build it strong?
Well, the first few days of this challenge, they really hammer home the importance of having a good base, both the words you know and how you actually say them.
Right.
And it's not about, learning massive lists of super complex words you'll maybe never use. The material really pushes quality over quantity.
Which makes sense.
It really does. We're talking about those super common words you use every single day. Things like always, usually, need, want, think,
Yeah, the basics, but the useful basics.
Yeah.
And the challenge doesn't just give you a list, does it?
No, not at all. It really pushes you to actively use them
Yeah.
in full sentences, natural sentences, and crucially, saying them out loud.
Ah, okay. So instead of just knowing always, you'd practice saying, like, I always wake up early.
Exactly. Or I usually drink coffee, that kind of thing. You listening right now, maybe try saying those out loud. I always wake up early. Feels different, right?
It does, actually. It makes it more physical.
That's part of it. And it links directly into the next piece, pronunciation. And the challenge makes a really good point here. Good pronunciation isn't necessarily about having a perfect native-like accent.
Right. It's about clarity. Can people understand you easily?
Precisely. If they get what you're saying without too much effort, you're doing great.
But there are common sticking points, aren't there?
Oh, definitely. The challenge flags a few common ones for English learners. That lost sound is a classic.
The voiced and unvoiced ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the difference between, say, the short E in bit and the long E in beat, that can be tricky.
Or the R sound for some speakers.
Right. And it suggests paying attention to the physical side of it, like how your mouth moves, even the vibration in your throat for voiced sounds like V or Z.
Feeling the vibration. Okay,
Right.
That's interesting. So it's quite tactile.
Yeah, it grounds it in something physical. And the daily exercise for this seems really practical.
What does that involve?
You choose about 5 common sentences. Simple stuff like, I need to go now, or she likes reading books.
Right.
First, you say them really slowly, focus on each sound, then you speed up bit by bit.
And you record yourself.
Yes. Record it, listen back critically, where did it sound a bit off, and then repeat. It's a loop. Say, record, listen, repeat.
That self-correction loop sounds powerful.
It is. And there's another simple tip thrown in. Try thinking in English during your normal routine.
Just mentally labeling things.
Yeah, like as you're making coffee, think, I am pouring water. Or look at your keys and think, these are my keys.
That sounds almost too simple.
Does it really help?
I think it does. It builds that direct link,
Yeah.
Object to English word, action to English phrase without translating in your head first.
Bypassing the translation step. Okay, that makes sense. It builds a sort of English world in your mind.
Exactly. So summing up these first 5 days, the mission is pretty clear. Learn useful words, practice saying them clearly, use short sentences, record yourself, listen, and repeat. build that base. Got it. So for you listening, even just a little bit of focus time on these basics each day could really start shifting things.
Absolutely. It compounds over time.
Okay, moving on. Days 6 through 10. This is a biggie for so many people. Speaking with confidence. Tackling that fear.
Yeah, this part of the challenge dives right into the emotional side of things. It flat out says what stops so many learners? Fear.
Fear of mistakes. Sounding silly, being judged.
All of the above. And crucially, it reassures you that this is totally normal. Everyone feels awkward at first. It's just part of learning.
That's good to hear. It emphasizes bravery too, right?
It does. It frames speaking a new language as an act of courage. Every word you manage to say is like a small victory.
And it says confident speakers aren't fearless.
No, they just speak despite the fear. They persist.
So how do you actively build that confidence muscle?
Well, the challenge suggests some neat techniques. Mirror speaking is one.
Talking to yourself in the mirror.
Basically, yes. And combining it with an affirmation, something like, I am learning, I am improving, I am not afraid.
Saying that out loud, looking at yourself, what does that actually do?
It helps connect your thoughts, your words, and even your body language. It's about building a more positive self-image as a speaker, kind of like programming yourself for confidence.
Interesting. Like aligning everything. And what about self-talk?
Yeah, just talking to yourself in English as you go about your day. Simple internal chatter.
Like, okay, what's for breakfast? Or need to remember my keys.
Exactly. It might feel weird at first, but the point is to practice forming thoughts in English in a totally zero-pressure situation. No audience.
Just getting used to the internal mechanics?
Precisely. And the core message here is so important. Don't wait for perfect English. Start speaking now.
Even if it feels broken.
Especially if it feels broken, the challenge reframes mistakes beautifully. They're not failures, they're essential steps. Every mistake is progress, really.
I like that. And the recording exercise continues here too.
It does, but with a slight twist. Instead of specific sentences, you just talk for about a minute about your day.
Free-form speaking.
Yeah. The challenge gives a little prompt like, today I woke up at, I felt, I ate, just to get you started.
And the value of that. Just talking.
It gets you used to producing continuous speech. You start noticing where you pause, where you search for words. It builds speaking stamina. And you can hear your progress day by day.
That makes sense. You'd probably surprise yourself after a week.
You likely would. And another big focus here is telling your own story, even a simple one.
Why personal stories?
It makes the language real. It connects speaking to you, your life. The challenge suggests starting super simple. Hi, my name is Saidi. I live in Rye.
So it's about authentic expression, not just reciting things. Speaking from the heart, sort of.
Exactly. It moves it beyond exercises into actual communication, which is motivating.
Okay, so summing up days 6 to 10. Speak every day. To the mirror, to yourself, record your thoughts. Act like the confident speaker you want to be, even if you don't feel it yet.
Right. Prioritize action over fear. And maybe for you listening, think, what's one small, maybe slightly uncomfortable thing you could do today to just speak, even for 30 seconds?
Good challenge. Okay, let's shift gears to the next block. Days 11 through 15. This is about sentence flow and fluency training.
Yes, fluency, that thing everyone wants, and the challenge defines it nicely. It's not just speed, it's about smoothness, natural rhythm, not too many awkward pauses.
Speaking, like water flowing, not like stuttering rocks.
Something like
Right.
that. It's where thoughts and words connect more effortlessly.
So how do you train for that? The challenge outlines 4 areas.
That's right. First one, expanding your sentences. Taking those simple sentences from the early days and adding more detail.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Remember, I eat breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You build on it. I usually eat breakfast around 7 a.m. Then maybe I usually eat a light breakfast, just toast and tea, around 7 a.m.
Adding details like time, what you ate.
Exactly. Before I get ready and leave for work, See how it grows. You add layers: when, what, why, how. The challenge says practice the sentence building daily.
Taking a simple base and adding complexity bit by bit seems less intimidating that way.
Definitely. The second area is using linking words consciously.
Connectors, like and, but, so.
Precisely. And, but, because, so, then, also. Those little words that glue ideas together, they stop your speech from sounding choppy.
Right. Instead of, I wanted to walk, it started raining, you'd say.
I wanted to go for a walk, but it started raining. Or, it started raining, so I stayed inside. It creates a much smoother flow between thoughts.
Makes a big difference in how natural it sounds.
Yeah.
Okay, third area.
Thinking directly in English. We touched on this earlier, but it's crucial for fluency. Avoid translating from your native language in your head.
So, see a dog, think dog, not Perot, then dog.
Exactly. If you need the bathroom, think, where's the bathroom, directly.
Yeah.
Translation adds a delay, makes speech hesitant.
How do you practice that? Force yourself.
Kind of. Start small. Label things around you in English in your mind. Narrate your actions silently. I'm opening the door. I'm drinking water. It builds that direct pathway.
Rewiring the brain, essentially. Okay, and the fourth technique, shadowing.
Ah, yes, shadowing. This is a really cool one.
How does it work?
You listen to a native speaker, maybe a short audio clip or video, and you repeat what they say immediately after them, almost talking over them slightly.
Just repeating the words.
Not just the words. You try to copy everything. The rhythm, the intonation, the speed, the pauses, even the emotion.
So you're mimicking the music of the language.
Exactly. The challenge gives an example, like listening to, I don't really like coffee, but I drink it anyway, and then saying it exactly the same way, trying to capture that flow.
I can see how that would train your mouth and ears to the natural patterns.
It really does. It helps you internalize the flow of spoken English.
So the daily routine for these days combines all four.
Pretty much. Practice expanding sentences, actively use linking words, do maybe 5 minutes of shadowing, keep up the self-talk, and record a slightly longer speaking sample, maybe 1-2 minutes. The prompt might be, yesterday was Fido. Okay.
So the big idea for fluency is it's less about rules, more about doing, speaking, connecting ideas, copying the flow.
You got it. It's active practice, making those connections smoother and more automatic.
So for you listening again, which of these fluency tools feels most doable? Maybe trying to stretch your sentences a bit more, or giving shadowing a go for 5 minutes.
Yeah, pick one to focus on, maybe.
Okay, so let's just quickly wrap up what we've pulled from these first 15 days. We started with building that foundation, useful vocabulary, clear pronunciation, practicing with sentences, recording yourself.
Getting the basics solid. Then we moved into confidence, tackling the fear, using mirror talk, affirmations, self-talk, just getting yourself to speak.
Super important. And finally, fluency expanding sentences, using connectors, thinking in English, and that shadowing technique to catch the natural rhythm.
And the thread connecting all of this is consistent, focused practice. It's not magic, it's effort applied intelligently over time, little by little, day by day.
It really adds up. Small steps lead to big improvements in speaking.
Absolutely.
So, as we finish up this deep dive, here's something for you to think about. Out of all these techniques we've discussed, the vocabulary, the pronunciation practice, the confidence builders like mirror talk, the fluency tricks like shadowing or expanding sentences, which one feels like something you could actually start doing, maybe even today or tomorrow?
Yeah, what's one small step you can take?
And maybe thinking about this has even got you wondering about setting your own little 30-day speaking goals. Could be interesting. Definitely something to mull over.